Hello everyone, welcome to SacAnime Summer 2016. We're here today with two of our guests of honor, American McGee and RJ Berg, the creative minds behind the incredibly messed up Alice in Wonderland video games that are just known as Alice, but it's just really messed up. How are you guys doing today?
Doing very
Doing
good.
well.
Oh man, I mean that in the sincerest of ways. Like, I actually just started playing this game for research purposes, and I can't wait to keep going forward. I know I'm really late to the party, but can you just tell us how this idea came about, pretty much? I know this isn't the first game in the series. There was a PC game that came out in 2000 simply called American McGee's Alice.
Sure. Well, there was a time when I was working at EA, RJ and I were there together, and someone came to me and said, if you would like to make a game of your own, we might support that, so come back with some ideas and we'll talk about it. And I went off, and there was a song that I heard that had the word wonder in it, and when I heard the word wonder, it just sort of triggered in my head that we would go into Wonderland, we would do a dark retelling of the Alice stories, and as they say, the rest is history.
That's really cool. All right, what were you guys doing before Alice?
Well, I'd been at EA for 10 years before we did that. I'd produced a lot of games, written a lot of games, did some Sherlock Holmes games.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's
So
very neat.
And I was at id.
Oh, what do you know? No big deal there. Just,
Yeah.
the industry-changing developers of all time. That's really neat. Yeah, tell us about your time at id, because that has me curious, because I've just gotten into PC gaming as of 2 years ago, and I'm
Right.
catching up on all my games, Wolfenstein, Doom.
Right,
I'll get
right.
into Quake one day. I don't know, it might be too crazy for me, but yeah.
Well, that was my first job in the industry. I started there when I was 20, and prior to that, I had been working on cars. I was a car mechanic.
Oh, I see.
And I happened to become friends with John Carmack, who is one of the founders and the lead programmer at id at that time. And first I went in to do testing on some of their games on Doom, but then they offered me a job. So I started off answering the phones, doing tech support, and then very quickly moved into doing design and doing level design. So I was there for 4 years. One day they just decided to fire me. Still not really clear on why that happened, but they were firing a lot of people over the years.
That makes sense.
And so I went to EA, and again, that's where I met RJ, and we built the Alice games.
All right, now I want to ask you a little bit more about id. Have you followed up on that company, like, after you got fired, or?
Not really.
You just-
okay.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I still had some friendship with some of the guys there, but even those over time, even those guys were let go or left. And,
Yeah. I'm just going to say, though, the new Doom is awesome. You should play it if you get a chance.
Yeah, I've
if
been
you're not
watching-
bitter, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching the Let's Play videos of it, especially people playing deathmatch, and that looks really interesting to me. At least the pacing of it looks like it's really fast.
Yeah.
But I've heard also people complaining about like the weapon loadout stuff can be really
Yeah.
annoying. But I think that they seem to be going back to the core of what made the original games, the original Doom, original Quake, so popular as multiplayer games.
And they're coming back with Quake, too. Quake Champions.
Yeah,
So, That's
exactly.
really interesting
Exactly.
and stuff. Now, any other games that you've worked on besides the Sherlock Holmes ones? Any notable ones? And this one, of course?
Future Cop, LAPD,
Oh, nice.
Nuclear Strike, a lot of EA products. I came to EA to work on so-called personal productivity products. The company was not always only an entertainment company. They did a lot of things with sort of early versions of Deluxe Paint for the Amiga. It was the beginning times in the 80s of personal computing. But at a certain point, it became clear that entertainment was where they wanted to put all their money, and sports in particular.
Yeah. Now, of course, Alice is the big game. Alice is, like, incredibly messed up. It's like, if you guys have seen Tim Burton's take on Alice in Wonderland, nothing compared to this. It's incredibly messed up. I love it so much. Now, there was like a 10-year, 11-year gap between games. What caused you guys to want to bring this back, pretty much?
Well, I left EA, RJ left EA. We sort of went our separate ways for a while. RJ went to work at Lucas on a bunch of the Star Wars games, and I went down to Los Angeles to get more involved in the film and sort of commercial world, music video world. I ran off to China. That was about 12 years ago now, and we started working together again. We built a studio in Shanghai, and it was really the fact that we'd built that studio and we'd built one product that was doing really well, and we'd built a great team that made us think, hey, we have a capability here to do another Alice. And so we went and approached EA and said, look, here's the team, here's the work they've been doing. What do you guys think? And they went for it.
That's really neat. I like how much of a platformer it is. It's not every day that you see, like, usually platformers are kid-centric, you know?
Yeah.
This one, not so much. It's kind of interesting. What was your favorite part of working on Alice? Well, both of you guys.
Well, really, the property itself is so resonant. Everyone has an idea of what Alice is, how they want to be related to this wonderful character, this great imaginative creation of Lewis Carroll. So the idea of being able to spend lots of time thinking about how she grew, what her world looked like, how Wonderland changed, was so attractive, and would have been right after we finished the first game, but EA didn't quite see it that way at the time. It took them some time, and they came back to it.
I'm a big fan of the atmosphere and the locations. When we're building the products, we start with the story and the design, but as the animators, the level builders, the artists come on board, you start getting these environments that are just spectacular. And I think whatever it is that we imagine on paper, there's so many times that you fire up what the guys have done in terms of translating that to the world, and you're just blown away.
I see very much. This game came out in 2011, 2012, right? Okay, so that was about 4 to 5 years ago, so
right.
Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. So is there any, would you guys like to return to this franchise or pursue new things, perhaps, in the future?
Both. We have ideas for new stuff that we're working on, but also we'd be happy to go back and continue Alice's story. I think there's another, probably good chapter or two hiding in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But the franchise is controlled by EA, so if fans want to see a new Alice, they need to go and direct their desires at EA.
All right, now remember, guys, spam EA's Twitter, say you want a new Alice. That's all you got to do. All right, guys, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you guys for coming to SacAnime. This game series, again, incredibly messed up. I love it so much. I would say the F word, but this is a family show. Cut that part out, Tim. Don't let him know. I'm editing this. I keep forgetting. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this interview with RJ Berg and American McGee, the creators, pretty much, the sole creative minds behind Alice, Madness Returns, and of course, Alice back in 2000. We'll see you guys at the next Winter SacAnime 2017. Subscribe if you like this video. Keep it locked here, SacAnime.com. More details.